welcome to Ultimate Pool Pairs Cup Finals Night Highlight Show. Shaun Chipperfield and Karl Sutton, the defending champions, are back in finals night once again, and they are taking on Vic and Vivek Makh, the father and son duo. What a story it is for them to be in finals night. On the other side of the draw, Shaun Storry and Chris taking on two legends from the Q Sports world. Gareth, the 4 times world champion, and Mark Selby, 1-time world champion in pool, 4 times in the snooker world. We're going to get going in our first match then. Shaun Chipperfield and Karl Sutton taking on Vic and Vivek Makh. The first 4 frames were shared, all with clearances of the break. So let's get into frame 5.
8 balls flying. Not going to go in, but much better break this time from Vivek. Last time he scratched in the left centre. This time he controls it so much better.
Yeah, he almost put a little bit too much on that first one, didn't he? And that's a little bit more like it. Interesting lie here, Si. Obviously, the 8 ball's a little bit tied up, but he's got a red and a yellow right next to it. What's the play here, do you think?
Well, if the 8 ball doesn't go, then you go straight into it first shot. If it does go, you could leave it alone. Well, has gone into it trying to open it up. And if he's not on the yellow to the right centre, he's on nothing.
Well, he's not on it. You can see from that reaction, he might even be full ball snookered.
Yeah, and if he was on it, he'd be in good shape, because you can see now every yellow goes. But if he's absolutely stuck to that, I have to say a little bit unlucky, but maybe could have played it firmer or screwed out off it. Anything to guard against it, but still, you could play that shot another 10 times and not end up as he has.
It's not the worst response.
It's not, but this is a better table than Shaun was able to clear up previously. In his first singles frame, he made a lovely clearance.
That noise you just heard, by the way, in the background indicates the 15-second shot clock zone has just begun in the final 5 minutes of the match here.
It comes in quick, doesn't it?
Standing room only here at Players Pool and Snooker in Newcastle. Underline, that's a lovely shot from Shaun Chipperfield. Now, he has got a couple to figure out here, namely the one at the bottom left. So he's going to probably have to play short position on it.
Yeah, I think that's the order of the day. I don't think there's any reason. It's easier to play short position than to play any sort of cannon. Problem he has is that short position, the red that's in the middle at the bottom there, that's blocking it for its...
Yeah, that has to go first.
So that kind of has to go first. But he has an angle now where I don't know if he can leave a good angle to get across off the one at the bottom. Okay, that's clever. If he catches that full in the face, there's a chance he knocks it on to the corner pocket. But now that he has moved it, he's on the one to the bottom right. He does now need to play that short positional shot. Probably play for it in the middle pocket. Could play for it in the corner, same corner again.
Oh, he's played that well. He wants to be as straight as possible. Oh, he might be a little bit off straight.
I think he can stun up. As long as he doesn't hit the 8 ball, he can get on the 8 ball to the bottom left. Oh, he could put it straight enough to take it top left. I was with you there. I thought he had too much angle.
Oh, big shot in the match. Never in doubt. Never in doubt. Well, what a break that is from Karl Sutton. What a break that is. Shaun Chipperfield just gets up on his feet to survey the table, but Karl's going to need no help here.
I think this is where having a partner out there can help you when it comes down to clock management. 3 minutes left on the clock, or there was at the start of this visit. You know, Karl can just focus on what he's got to do out there and allow Shaun to think about the sort of clock implications, and if he feels he needs to get involved, he can. But these players, you know, they've been playing with a match clock for so long, they're starting to really build up that knowledge of how they deal with these situations. And for this one, you'd say these yellows are on, they all go, and just don't rush your clearance. So you're sort of guarding against. If you can take you close to 15 on the first 4 or 5 shots, you're not leaving much time for a counter clearance if you don't quite get there.
Yeah, and you can really see how comfortable Karl is with that shot clock and the beeps going off on his backswing. Be enough to drive anyone loopy when you've got an important match to play for, but he's had so much experience out there, he almost works with it
Well, you saw that there. He was waiting for the beeps to come in before he was going to get down on the shot, because he is using that full 15.
He's played both of his last 2 shots on 1.
Yeah.
Making 15 seconds look like a minute.
He'll be giving Ultimate Pool ideas of a 10-second shot clock.
Well, it'll happen at some point. I'm absolutely convinced of it.
So in terms of the clearance, this is the key shot, and if he wasn't to get this one right, then there's every chance there's enough time left. So got to get this one right. I thought he was going to play that firmer, you know. I thought he was going to play that on and off the cushion and cannon the red so that he could hold straighter on the yellow. He's gone the other way, so this one now needs to play really, really well. It's hard to get this right. It's okay, but this is now a tough pot.
Well, this is why you take all the time off, because if he gets this wrong, it's going to require a rapid counter clearance. It's a big shot. And it stays up. So then, Vic Makh, 46 seconds with which to halve the set.
It's doable. He's got to get a move on, though.
His big shots are down the left rail.
He can deal with the one on the... Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's going to be annoying. It's gone in the way. That's now made it really, really tough.
Great pot. Does the one he can and go? Can he play this?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he's got anything here.
He's got 16 seconds. He has to find something. It's a good old-fashioned hit.
He's got one. He's got one. He's going to get...
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow.
9 seconds. Vivek up on his feet with the celebrations already. He's just going to run out of time. What an effort. Wow. What an effort from Vic Makh, sprinting around the table. That would have been one of the most bonkers clearances we've ever seen. And Vic Makh is roughly 2 seconds shy. That would have been unbelievable. It still was, and they didn't quite make it. The first set finishes, and it's Shaun Chipperfield and Karl Sutton who get the first on the board.
The second set started the same way as the first, this time with 3 clearances off the break, 2 of them, though, to Shaun Chipperfield and Karl Sutton. Vic Makh has the break in frame 4.
The Machs need to win this set. They'll be guaranteed a 6-red shootout if they do. And, well, that break is just the big show, isn't it, from Vic Makh? He cannot stop smashing the break. He's hit 3 tonight, and every one of them has been incredible. That's as good as you can hit it.
Yeah, and I've said this before, and I really mean it. That when you can park the cue ball in the middle of the table, there is no better sight in the pool world on the break than, you know, you can see it, have the cue ball screwing back all you like. When you absolutely park it like he just has there, it looks amazing, and the result is incredible.
Oh, you can pick what you want here, lads. It's your choice.
Well, if they go reds, it can get fiddly at the top of the table. I'm assuming the 8 ball does go top left, so I can. Reds aren't a problem. They just want to get this first shot right to land nicely at the top.
Oh, total miscue. It may still be okay.
I think he's on the one nearest the 8 ball, but the cue ball could be a problem. If the natural goes wide of the 8 ball, then just make the pot. If not, if he's canning into it, oh, it is go. Oh, he would have gone wide of it, but he's missed the pot. So
frustration for Vivek. Left his old man on a really tough long pot. They've not left anything super easy though. They can drift one down the table if they want, but I think that's the ball they'd want to use to land on the 8 ball themselves. So it's going to have to be a long pot in response from Chipperfield and Sutton.
Yeah, just in hindsight, it wouldn't have been the worst decision in the world for Vic and Vivek to go yellows there. They could have controlled themselves through it all the way. Obviously, if you get the first shot right on reds, then reds look easy because there's only 4 of them as well. But yellows were split so nicely, they really wouldn't have been much of a problem with yellows.
Can Vivek pull a rabbit out of the hat here? Two cushions. Yellow shouldn't be a problem now. It was a decent enough hit from Vivek Makh, but he was looking to pot it. It was the only way they could win the frame, really, at that visit.
Yeah, yellows are wide open here. The only thing I will say with the yellows is if you're going to leave the yellow nearest the 8 ball's last ball, you need a good angle. You don't want to allow that red to become a blocker and become a problem.
Something funny, Chipperfield. Enjoying himself out there is Chippy.
I'd love to see the chat through. I wish we could hear him a little bit clearer. It'd be great to get players mic'd up, I think, for the pairs. Possibly might be issues with that as well, but
yeah, I can think of a few pairs who can give us a few issues.
Yeah. It just shows, though, a lot of players, a lot of people watching kind of see 5 open yellows like they had there, and what's what they're talking about there? These all go, but you've got to make it as easy as possible. You've still got to find that route that allows you to get out without a problem developing, because the further into a finish you go, the more chance you have of those problems developing. I think there's a touch straight here. He's going to have to punch this one in and come around 2 cushions. Remember, he wants to get fairly straight on the yellow to the right centre. So he's got to get quite a long way up the table, and he doesn't have a huge amount of angle to do it.
Yeah, he's got barely any. Straight screw back.
Yeah, and even there, he's a long way short of ideal.
And it's not necessarily about problems becoming more prevalent later on through the finish. Just your options to solve them become more scarce. You've got, by definition, less balls on the table, less options.
Yeah, remember I said right at the start that yellow top left, you have to be good angle on it to get on the 8 ball from it.
Oh, well, that's gone wrong. Hope for the return of the Makhs in this frame. Can Chippy pull out a super recovery shot? It's tough. You've got to be really careful with that 8 ball. It's a masse. Yeah, nothing to go for it in the end.
That's not too bad. It looks terrible, but it's not bad at all. In terms of it looks and sounds like a miscue, but he knew what he was doing. He knew where he was trying to leave it. There's nothing on here for Reds at all.
"12 seconds to figure it out." Got to get your snooker. Great shot.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.
I'm loving the reaction from their support as well. They are. We've talked to Vic and Vivek all the way through this Pairs Cup, and I've asked them all the time, you know, what's the support been like at home? And they said it's been amazing. But now I think a fair few of those folks who've been cheering them on from their TV sets are here tonight, and it's been a great atmosphere out there. Cue ball in hand then for the Makhs. It doesn't matter if it hits, you've got to hit a cushion after contact. It will be cue ball in hand then. And hope for Vic and Vivek.
Yeah, they need to get this done quickly. This will tie the scores up. Remember, they have to win this set, having lost the opening set, and it's not their break next.
Yeah, you can see that by the little cue ball icon on the scoreboard graphic. That's who broke in the frame. Wrapped it up in style. Nice finish. Just goes to show it is never easy to clear up in 8 ball. Boys are right behind them.
You need some help one way or another if you're Vic and Vivek, but there is enough time at 3:46. You know, if Shaun makes a ball and doesn't make the clearance, there's enough time to counter.
And on a 15-second shot clock, I'd put it to you, Simon, that Chippy's probably going to have to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, it won't be natural if he tries to take the Karl Sutton approach. Okay, made a ball. Not a great layout, but I think yellows are a chance here.
Well, the first thing he did was have a look at the yellow down this bottom left side rail to see if it went. because if he can nip the yellow into the middle pocket, then it naturally connects to the one down this side rail.
So I think that'll be the plan. Want to try and get behind that yellow to left centre. You won't want to do it too out because the one down the cushion isn't ideal to get on the 8-ball. So it might be better to try and get on the one on the cushion first, or leave the one over the bottom right-hand corner as you're connected to the 8-ball. He may have a touch too much angle here unless he wants to play into the cluster, which is what he's done. That'll do nicely. You can still drop the one in the middle. It's a touchy shot. Looks awkward on the overhead. It's awkward cueing as well.
Oh no!
Twist. This could be a major twist.
A big twist. He's not got into that enough, and he's totally snookered on his final yellow. And now there really is hope for Vivek and Vic. Great shot to hit it. What a result that is as well.
It is a great shot. Vivek is going to have to come up with something here. That is an amazing outcome. He was trying to pot it, obviously, but what a result.
He's got a big target at the top of the table, but he needs to find a way.
Do you think he can see the bottom red? If he can he do anything with it? I think he can only see the underside of it. Don't know if getting the cue ball on the bottom cushion at least only leaves a double. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, that's not bad. That isn't bad.
Back double, isn't it? From here, do you think?
It's a big bring back. You're going to have to catch that quite thin. Not sure that's really on.
No, he's going to play the same shot again.
Oh, brilliant. What a shot. That is fantastic. Now it's going to have to be come off a cushion, get solid contact, and you're looking for cover. Looking for cover.
And he's not going to find any, is he?
No.
Oh, yes, I think it passes. He's fine, Shaun Chipperfield.
You have to say that shot from Shaun is going to win him this frame and therefore the match. Touch fortune on the first one, but that second one was fantastic to feather off it and get the snooker absolutely perfect.
40 seconds, and Shaun Chipperfield's going to roll in the 8-ball. It will be a break next for the 2 max, but they must win 2 frames from here, remember.
Also, excellence from Shaun.
Want the 8-ball moving. It's another sledgehammer from Vivek, but it's not going to be a golden. Or from Vic, I should say, on the break.
Might get out yet. One on the right-hand side could get left behind here. Oh, that's why he's going long. Good vision, but...
Not to be, and there's the concession. The defending champions are in the final, and the fairy tale story ends for Vivek and Vic Makh. They've given so much to this Pairs Cup competition in this tournament, and they fall at the penultimate hurdle. Brilliant run to the semi-finals. Unlucky as well, but a quality performance from Shaun Chipperfield and Karl Sutton, and they are in their 2nd straight Pairs Cup final.
Time to find out who will play Shaun Chipperfield and Karl Sutton in the Pairs Cup final. Gareth Potts and Mark Selby taking on Shaun Storry and Chris Day. We join them in the opening frame.
And that is a heck of a break by the jester from Leicester. And we saw this throughout this tournament, really. Mark has obviously played a lot of pool before. He's a former 8-ball world champion back in 2006. So he's got really good fundamentals in this game. He's not exactly just some snooker player who can pot a ball. He knows what he's doing on the small table. But the one thing that's been impressive, to me at least in this tournament, is how well he's been breaking, because that's something you don't really do an awful lot of. That can go, you'd imagine, but his break's been so reliable.
Yeah, he's been breaking really well, hasn't he? And to the point where he's actually, maybe because of the way it's panned out, but in the previous rounds, he's taken more of the breaks. That can be to do with the way the match plays out, but his break's been fantastic. In fact, his whole level's been fantastic. Both times we've seen him in this year's Pairs Cup and last year's. Absolutely fantastic.
So they open up that red ball. I think they're okay here, you know.
They're up there, very good here. Yeah, it's still not wide open. They still have to be very precise with 2 or 3 shots, and the shots they have to be precise with, and therefore you'd say do early, the ones at the top of the table nearest the 8 ball. The ones at the bottom are fine, but then they're away from the 8 ball. So I'm not surprised to see them come down the table now.
It's an interesting start already to this match, because neither of these two pairs will play a lot of safety tonight. They're 2 really high-level pairings, and this is a tough finish. And they're straight after it. It just magnifies mistakes.
Yeah, there won't be much safety play. Sometimes the balls dictate, and you have to. And both these pairs are more than capable to recognise that and do that. But I think you know, they'll take on tough finishes if they're there. They'll back themselves to make it.
God, did that just roll away? I thought that was in.
I did as well. I think that just dipped into the knuckle, actually.
I might have just caught a finger mark or something. Have another watch of this. Yeah, that looks in and then just rolls away.
Yeah, that's almost like it's gone over a chalk mark or a finger mark or something. It's very strange. Well, even more strange considering it's the first frame of a match, because whilst we've been away, the table will have been brushed and ironed. So a strange one there.
Yeah, big surprise. You can't be too critical, because I mean that red was in the heart of the pocket. It was. It's not anymore. So Shaun Storry at the table, number 2 in the Ultimate Pool rankings for 2021. He's still up there, well inside the top 10, I think. He finished in 2022. He's had a very consistent season without quite getting himself back in the winner's circle. He has been Mr. Consistent. Very seldom has a bad weekend, Shaun Storry, always there or thereabouts. Mark of a really good player to keep consistently doing that.
I think to play out the pair of them, the biggest, I wouldn't say, not surprise is the wrong word, because you know how hard he's working off the table, but the biggest improvements come from Chris Day, putting the hours in, putting the hard work in, and that's starting to show now. Being a professional for 1 year, and he's treating it like he's really being professional. He's putting the hours in, and he's been rewarded with a run through to the World Championship final. Came up short against Ronan, but you know, that's the start of things to come for Chris Day. Makes them a very, very dangerous partnership. Still not easy here. I need a good angle on the last yellow, because 8 ball can only go top left. Not easy to get that good angle, and even if they do get the good angle, it's still a relatively tight pot.
Wants to bounce.
That's perfect. That is absolutely ball in hand perfect for Chris.
Yeah, I was just thinking, it's fairly obvious where they want to be. It was just getting there was really tough.
Well, it is, because you're going across the line, so it's so easy to under or over hit that shot. He wouldn't have picked it up with his hand and put it better than that.
Yeah, that's really nice. Really, really nice. And it will be a little bit like the serve, the break tonight, I think, with the way that these 4 all break so well. If he can take one against the serve, it is a little bit like a break. Great start then for Storry and Day. Shaun Storry cut breaking, looking to get that 8 ball moving, and didn't he just? Very nearly made it.
Always makes me smile when I see a cut break against Gareth Potts, because he's one of the big anti-cut break players. There are a few.
He wanted
so
it.
I think that was close, wasn't it? I spent a little bit of time with Chris and Shaun in practice earlier, and I watched them breaking and doing all sorts of things. And Shaun was hitting the cut break as hard as I've ever seen anyone hit the cut break. It was incredible, but this one he's hit poorly, almost makes the 8 ball. But sometimes with a cup break, you can't hit it with a huge amount of power because you could trump the cue ball off the table. But it shows you how smooth he cues that he was able to put full power on it. And because of that, he was getting huge splits and huge chances, but not happened here with his first break.
So Mark's going to target these. He fancies these reds, but it is tough. Mentioned at the start of the show, he's in pretty good shape, Mark Selby, having won a big competition just last night. Has the opportunity to win 2 titles in 2 days in different sports. There's not many who can do that.
Yeah, how about that? That would be impressive. Has he knocked the red on?
I don't think so.
If he hasn't, it's a major problem. Yeah, he's got some real working out to do here. Even if that red does go, it's still a problem. He's still got to get there, which wouldn't be easy. He's on the one to the middle now, which is what he wanted to be on. And it does go. Okay, that's good news for Mark, but now he has to find a way through, find a path, find a window from the one at the top of the table.
God, and there is a lot of traffic in the way. He's got to really pick his line and execute it perfectly. This is super tricky from here.
Oh, straight's not good. He's a touch straight on this.
You can see where he wants to be. He's getting there. This needs to be a really good shot. It's not bad.
Has
he got a shot? I think he has.
That was an exceptional bit of cueing to get that much pace on it down there. But he's not on it, so he's looking at now red off yellow. So he can see the red, but not enough to pot it. So he's thinking about playing it a little bit thinner and making it off the yellow. Has to get the cue ball back out.
Not quite. Great effort, but falls short for the second time in 2 frames.
And that would cost Mark Selby the frame, as Shaun Storry was able to make the counter clearance after a safety exchange. Gareth Potts did get his partnership on the board in the next frame with a break clearance, but a tactical exchange in the next frame allowed Chris Day and Shaun Storry to hang on to take the opening set.
It is Chris Day and Shaun Storry with the opening break of the second set. Having won the first, they know that at worst for them, golden break to start. And that is why they break from there. How about that? Shaun knew it. I wonder what Gareth Potts was thinking about that.
They get one themselves here.
They couldn't get one themselves, could they?
Oof, so close.
Even no-nonsense Scott Price almost smiled.
Just going back to the golden break briefly, and Chris Day and Shaun Storry, they have a variety of breaks. Both of them will use and change, and depending on the situation, the format, what's working rather. And they will have come into this thinking about the cut break all along because of the golden breaks in operation, and they do hit the cut break really, really well. And both of them at the moment are going for it, so not a surprise at all to see the golden break. And you're absolutely right, Stephen. A brilliant break, regardless of whether the 8 ball went in or not. Now it's up to Mark Selby to respond. This is one of those layouts that looks easier than it really is. Has to be picked apart in the right order to make it a simple finish. That's a lovely shot. Wanted to get inside those 2 yellows to clear this one, so that allows him to deal with the bottom half of the table. The problem he has is you want to be on the one top left before the one below it, because it doesn't go. If you play on the plant, then the yellow is going to go to the right-hand side. So you could play the plant, but you have to kind of factor that into your thinking and then control being on a ball that's moving.
Well, he's had a hell of a 24 hours as Mark Selby. Won the English Open last night against Luca Brissell, and said afterwards it was one of his biggest achievements after everything he's been handling off the snooker table as well. It meant an awful lot to him.
Oh, that's gone awkward.
In that sense, tonight will be a little bit of a free roll. I think that this event always will be in that sense to him. But he must be coming in with so much confidence. Big plant coming up. Big plant made.
Excellent shot. So much better than it looked. He finished about as awkward on that as he could do, to the point where I think he wasn't really playing on the plant, though. Just had to take it in the end.
Cued that one beautifully as well. Oh, it's a great visit to the table from Mark Selby. This is a super shot. Completely as played as well.
The next 2 frames were shared with clearances from the break. Chris Day now has the break at 2-2.
Oh, it's flying. Cue ball's down though. Almost a golden duck in that sense. Cue ball and 8 ball both go in. You're in serious trouble.
I tell you what, that 8 ball's super close once again to the right centre before being kicked off. And then he almost got exactly the same kick as his previous frame and was tracking to the centre. But, okay, it's the first time in the set that the Selby and Potts partnership are going to get to play a shot off Chris or Shaun's break, and it's their opportunity to get in front in the set that they have to win. And remember, they have to break in the next frame as well, so this is a big visit to the table for Mark Selby.
Yellow ball's in play.
Could argue that so far this is the biggest visit to the table in the match.
Oh, for sure. And it's a good chance as well. There's nothing in the way here. It's just about plotting your way around. And yeah, he's just looked at the yellow at the top of the table. I wondered whether he would leave that for last ball or not. And he's not going to. And the reason being, you'd normally think yellow in the same half of the table as the 8 ball, but you want to play the 8 ball to the top of the table, so you want to be playing a yellow from below it to get onto it. This yellow to the 8 ball wouldn't be ideal, certainly to get perfect position. The one to bottom left would be perfect. Would have preferred to be straighter on this yellow, or just off straight the other way so that he could track low. He's had a look, so maybe he has just about got the angle to do that. Yeah, he was just okay.
Lovely.
And leaves the perfect natural angle to float through the gap.
Very high quality visit to the table from Mark Selby. It really is at times like he has just never been away. For the first time in the set, and for first time in the night really, Potts and Selby find themselves in front.
So needs a ball, gets a ball. So fantastic break. Not a brilliant leave though. Delicate opening shot on yellows. May not have anything better than a long plant on reds. But yellows look a good layout. Delicate little drop in the middle to start with, and the 2 on the left-hand side probably need to be taken in the right way, as in the one nearest the pocket first. But we have already seen Gareth play one very good plant down to that pocket, and he may well look to do the same again. The yellow on the right-hand side does pass the red. That's not a problem.
Yeah, there's work to do here.
And we're at 15 seconds a shot. So it is the plant.
Oh, this is such a big shot. If they make this, they're almost certainly going to win the set, and it's 6 red shootout time in a race to 4, and he has. But they need to get out.
I'd argue one more shot. He's probably going to try and get across to the right-hand cushion here. He wants to be pretty straight on the one down the right-hand cushion. Keep coming, keep coming. Yeah, that's ball in hand, perfect. So we can just have that couple of rolls off the cushion, and he's absolutely plumb. Excellent visit to the table, this from Gareth. Excellent set of ball we've seen from both pairs, it has to be said.
This is set ball. This is for a 6 red shootout. We're going the distance in the semi-final. It's Chris on the break. Pot all 6 reds. Set the time. Quickest time set by either pair will win. That's a lovely break. Now you get to your work.
Cue ball's just moving for the first couple of shots here.
The key to a good 6 red shootout is stopping that cue ball. And they are stopping that cue ball. It's a miss, but they're in decent position. Chris actually tried to make both. That might come as a mistake. Shaun Storry makes it. So 26.5-ish. And I just wonder how much that decision from Chris Day to try and make both on the skill shot may come back to haunt them.
It's not that. Shaun Storry missed the easiest of balls just before it. It was going to be 19, maybe 20, but Shaun missed a sitter of a ball that meant that then Chris went for the combination shot, tried to make both, which then cost him an extra, well, 4 or 5 seconds as well. They even, if Chris just rolls it in, they probably set 22, but if Shaun doesn't miss, then they set 20.
That'll do.
Oh, they just bounced too far for them.
Cue ball stopping though, which helps.
This is in the balance. This is super tight. Still tight.
This is close. This to win it. It's there! They've done it before, they've done it again. Mark Selby and Gareth Potts are through by way of 6 red shootout. Mark Selby's got his dancing shoes on. And they are dancing straight through to the Pairs Cup final. Shaun Storry and Chris Day eliminated. A case of what may have been for those two.
Straight on to the Pairs Cup final. Defending champions Shaun Chipperfield and Karl Sutton taking on Gareth Potts and Mark Selby. And it is the snooker legend Mark Selby that has the opening break.
Yeah, that's showing no signs of slowing down. Oh, that's... Oh, well, I say that. I thought it was a brilliant break, but just look where the cue balls ran here.
Yeah.
This has come out really horrible.
How big are you feeling here, guys? How confident are you feeling? Because there's a huge, huge red on. If you make it, you probably win the frame off it, although there would be some mileage on the left-hand side. But if you miss it, you could be gifting the frame away. Really tough shot. How does he fancy it? You can forgive him for not taking it on. It looks like he's winding himself up for it. Fantastic shot.
What a shot.
You could tell by the amount of time he took on that. It was a lot of considering, is it the shot? Is there a better safety? Or do I have to just go for it? And steadied himself, knocked it in, and now it comes down to the finish. And while we were looking at that replay, Mark was just looking at the red on the left-hand side. That is now the ball they have to land on. He might try and do it straight away. Could target the yellow. Oh, he's missed the yellow, but he might get second prize and be the side of it. I think he is. They'll take that. Not exactly as played, but certainly take it.
Well, here's the big question, isn't it? Can you ride that crest of a wave? Shaun and Karl have had time to reset. They got through fairly undramatically in the first semi-final of the night. 2 victories in their 2 sets with Vic and Vivek Makh. Tough game, close game, but they got through. And they got through without having to sprint around the table too much. So they reset, they go again. Maybe pot a couple of balls, practice a 6-red shootout. But for Potts and Selby, I mean, I'd be surprised if their heart rates have slowed down after that dramatic finish. I don't think I've ever seen Mark Selby move like that.
Dancing shoes were on. But this has been a brilliant tonic to sort of reset themselves and go again, because you remember where they were after the break.
And the thing is as well, these two have seen everything there is to see in the game in that sense.
Gareth Potts made a reverse clearance before Mark Selby made a break clearance to make it 3-0. Shaun Chipperfield has the break in frame 4.
This is the beauty of set play, though. They've got time if they wanted to get back, or they get the chances to get back in this one. But worst way, they start 0-0 in set 2.
Oh, that 8 ball was tracking. It's not me dry again, is it? Well,
he doesn't hit this one as well as his previous one. Maybe a touch of frustration in it, but it wasn't a bad break. Just not as clean a contact.
So then it's a Scotch frame. It's alternate shots for Potts and Selby.
Yellows will be the choice, and it's one of those. It's about picking the good route, because everything actually goes.
Yeah, and this is what Gareth in particular has made a career out of doing. Unpicking frames like this. His pattern play is...
There you go. There's the pattern Mark's just said.
It's outstanding, really. It's the art to this game. There's so many players who are great cueists, who can pot a good ball. We see it on the Challenger Series every single time. There's hundreds of top quality pool players. But what separates good from the great is the pattern play, the art of the game, which is picking the route.
So this will be a stretch for Gareth. And Gareth just said there's a gap through to play for yellow right centre if they want it, but I think Mark wants him to play up the left-hand side.
He's not quite as limber as he maybe once was, Gareth Potts, but he's still good enough. Look at that.
He's a little bit short. He's a little bit short. Could have done with another 2-3 rolls on that. Even one more roll would have helped, but as Gareth has just pointed out, he can be nice and high on that yellow and still be absolutely fine.
Oh, and look how he's held that. He's controlled that really well.
Yeah, once again, picked it off the thick side of the pocket and killed the cue ball. Delightful shot.
Well, this has been an exhibition. Shaun Chipperfield and Karl Sutton haven't played a shot in open table. Karl Sutton hasn't even swung his cue. 2 dry breaks for Shaun Chipperfield, and that is all they wrote in the first set of the Pairs Cup final. Gareth Potts and Mark Selby racing to a lead.
An incredible opening set that goes the way of Potts and Selby. Amazingly, Karl Sutton didn't get a single shot in the opening set, but has the break-off in the start of set 2.
It's a crazy, crazy game at times, but the defending champions haven't really had a chance to defend their title in this match. Shaun Chipperfield has played 2 shots. They've both been dry breaks. Karl Sutton gets kicked in off his first shot of the final. And I just wonder if these two are starting to think it might not be our night.
It's utterly bonkers, isn't it? You know, we do see this from time to time, but I think in the pairs, that's the first time we've seen a player not play a shot in the whole entirety of a set or a match, because most matches are one sets. That's really tough on both Karl and Shaun.
And what a break he's hit there. Look at this split. Look at these reds.
Yeah, what you're looking at from Chipperfield and Sutton's perspective is they just want things to turn around. They're looking for a chance. And unfortunately for Karl, he's not played the best of breaks there, but that frustration must be building to be in a major final and not really get a chance.
I mean, it's super harsh. I mean, he's contacted the break well enough. He's made a ball. He's been kicked in off. Whilst he's not hit them perfectly, I still think you've got to say he's very unlucky.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. It's just very, very unfortunate. But all credit to Potts and Selby. They're getting the chances. We saw in the opening set they played against Shaun Storry and Chris. They had the opening chance. They had the chances to start there, and they didn't take them. This time they are. What Chippy and Karl have to do here is just be patient, and whenever they get an opportunity, take it. And whether they'll be hoping it comes at 1-1. Oh, sorry, 1-0, because this looks like it's about to go 1-0. Excuse me. But whenever it does come, they've got to be ready to take it, because things can turn around in the pairs very, very quickly. They're more than capable of running 4 straight themselves.
Yeah, they just have to believe. But that's 5 straight now for Potts and Selby. And it does look a long way back.
Gareth Potts made a break clearance to make it 2-0 before Karl Sutton finally got his partnership on the board with a break clearance of his own. We joined Gareth Potts breaking off in frame 4.
Oh, it stays up, and you just see there the body language of Shaun Chipperfield. It's the sort of thing that you feel like happens to you when you're in this situation. Shaun Chipperfield and Karl Sutton, roles reversed here. They're thinking, well, if we hit this break, this cue ball's in off. And it just hangs in there.
It would have been unlucky to be going off, but I completely get Shaun's reaction. Yeah. Because on another day, when the momentum's not going with them, that goes the other way. The only thing you will say is this is far from a nice layout. They're still going to choose to be aggressive by the looks of things. The yellow goes through the gap of the reds. So if they get yellows, they could maybe open everything up in one shot. Try and get this back to the middle of the table. And now,
nice long pot for Mark Selby. Not that it will feel particularly long for him. Yeah. 7-foot table versus the snooker table. It's just potting the blue, that, isn't it?
I think the yellow on the top passes the red. So do they? Okay, that's clever. I was going to say, they could play a clever way where they don't have to. It's not like a hit and hope. It's a controlled shot, which is exactly what they've done. The only thing is they do now have to play that one good positional shot to land between the 2 yellows at the top.
Yeah, they've got a shot to play here. I'm going to deal with the bottom half of the table first.
Cannot land straight. Have to have angle off this next shot. Cannot land straight. And they've landed absolutely straight.
Yeah, that's a bit of a disaster.
They do have the red that helps them to left middle. So maybe if they just drop the yellow in, yellow off the red, they might be able to come out of this and get where they need to. This is a big shot. Because all they can do is allow natural angle now. They can't manipulate it.
This is all about knowing your naturals. Picking the line. It is off the red. Yellow drops.
It's a shade short, but it's not bad. At least they have a chance.
Well, can they even hold it off the red? That's what Gareth's looking at. It's going to be yellow to the top left, and then they're targeting the red. They want to hit it full in the face, and it will hold the cue ball for them. And they've got one hand on the trophy. Just like that. It's a brilliant recovery. They've played a few really good shots in this visit. So then this 8-ball for 1 frame away. 7 minutes and 8 seconds remain. Out the pocket. 3-1. And time is ticking. It's not all over for Shaun Chipperfield and Karl Sutton.
It's absolutely not. But the frustration is there for all to see.
Full teapot from Shaun, but he does make a ball, and he's got a good chance here. Has to screw on and get going. They have come out a little bit messy.
And that is the first shot that Shaun Chipperfield has played in open play in this match. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. This is the 9th frame of the match, and it's the first shot he's had.
Well, if ever you needed a quick clearance, Shaun Chipperfield generally is your man. There aren't many better, and there certainly ain't many quicker.
Yeah, great shape here. 8-ball just a little bit awkward unless it drops in the left centre. You can play for it in other pockets, but might have half a pocket left centre, but probably better to play for it in other pockets. You're going to have the one over the bottom right as your last ball.
Yeah, I just wonder if you're going to come across for it in the right middle, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm sort of getting at, is you don't want to be straight on that last yellow unless it goes left centre. But it looks very, very tight for me. He'd love to get the cue ball across to the right-hand side, as you said. That's what he's looking at there. In the end, he didn't feel like he could take that risk, so make sure he had plenty of angle the other way, and this is still nice to track across the table.
Yeah, this is what Shaun Chipperfield does. Brilliant.
Karl Sutton made it 3-3 with a reverse clearance off the dry break from Gareth Potts. Shaun Chipperfield has the break in the deciding frame.
Shaun Chipperfield and Karl Sutton will be hoping so. It's not the best of hits. They have a ball. They must have a ball. They do have a ball. And here we go.
Great chance. First shot could be the hardest shot they play, but I think actually they can see the red at the top of the table, so it isn't. Reds are there. This is every chance of a 6-red now.
3 minutes. They really do not have to rush here.
Only thing I'll say is the red that's right over the pocket, it's not easy to get back out after that. So do they consider playing the red off the red and pinging it open? But the risk in that is you knock that red could ping onto a yellow. So that one ball, even the easiest ball on the table because it's hanging over a pocket, is the hardest ball on the table.
Well, that's exactly why he's done just that.
And he played it early with pace to get it right out, knowing he was going to be on the one at the top of the table. It's actually really good thinking out there.
In the heat of battle, at 15 seconds a shot, trophy on the line, they're still thinking with clarity.
This is not good. This is a bad angle. The natural on here, they can't get on the run at the bottom of the table. He has to load this up. Look at that, so much running side and he still couldn't get there.
Is he on it at all?
I think he has to bend it. They're rushing here, but they don't need to rush. They've got 2 minutes left.
And he misses, and that may well be that. That may well be that. 156 and ticking. They don't have to win this frame, remember. 3-3 is enough for Potts and Selby. They can just pot out.
That was the first mistake in the final. 10 straight clearances off the break prior to that. Incredible standard. And now it's in Potts and Selby's hands, and it is wide open.
Well, these are the margins that we operate on at the top of any sport, and make no mistake, these four are at the top of this one. Mark Selby may have spent several years away, but still absolutely world class. They're not going to pot out, they're breezing through. They want to win it.
Don't time foul here. Don't time foul. They're having a bit of a debate.
Here we go then. Gareth Potts and Mark Selby, 2 balls away. He's left him pretty horrible on it.
That's about as bad as he could have left it on it.
But if ever you needed someone to pot you a ball, how about Mark Selby? Never in doubt. The Golden Boy and the Jester from Leicester are ultimate pool champions. For Gareth Potts, it's his second Ultimate Pool title. For Mark Selby, it's his second trophy in as many days. English Open snooker champion yesterday, Ultimate Pool pairs champion today. Well done. It's been a tremendous run back to the final, and you've played a match there that was of such an elite standard. It couldn't really have done much more.
No, not at all. I mean, every chance we had, we took. I mean, yes, we had a slight chance in the last one, but we're running round, and we haven't got time to try and sort of map a finish. You've just got to play the first shot you see. But like, obviously, congrats to the guys that they play well. You know, that was an exhibition. We had front row seats for the first 5-6 frames, but we've had a hell of a run to win and then to go all the way to the final. It's like unbelievable.
It's been a stunning partnership, Shaun, and I'm guessing we'll see you two back again together. Not getting the band back out, are you?
No, yeah, we'll be back. Don't worry about that. Yeah, just echo what you said. Really fair play to the guys. They were brilliant. But then first 6 frames were just they were hard to watch. Sit there and watch. But we done all we could in the end. We gave ourselves a chance to nick that last set. And yeah, just ran out of time. Really, as he said, to plan a finish out. But there we go.
Says something a lot about you two as players, though, that you sat there for 6 frames, took that amount of punishment. Then when you did finally get your chance, the pair of you took out brilliant individual clearances. You really couldn't have done much more. No,
not at all. Like we felt we were playing well. We just needed the opportunities. Obviously, Shaun's had 2 dry breaks. I've been kicked in off, but that's pool. On another day, the opportunities are reversed, and we might be winners. But it just weren't our day today. But we can take pride with what we've done.
You certainly can, boys. Well done on a great tournament again. Karl Sutton and Shaun Chipperfield, everyone. Well, for the Dream Team, it really has been a stunning tournament. They're still yet to be defeated in pairs competition. For Gareth Potts, his second Ultimate Pool title. For Mark Selby, his second trophy in just 2 days. Let's hear it for the winners, Mark Selby and Gareth Potts. Boys, well played, first of all. I mean, let's talk about the final itself, because those first 6 frames were an absolute exhibition. It can be difficult when you have such a high after winning a 6-red shootout in the way that you did, what, 5 minutes before to go again. But that was outstanding what you boys did.
Yeah, I think obviously, we played a faultless match there. We were effectively 6-0 up with 6 clearances. So and we felt as though in the last set of the semi-final, it came. First set was obviously a little bit scrappy, but yeah, we felt as though that was coming in. Obviously, like the lads said, you just have to be fortunate enough to get the chances from the break. Just a quick one on the lads. Obviously, the incredible run they've had and winning the event and then getting to the final again back to back is obviously an incredible achievement. And I think we had to play like that to beat them.
Yeah, I completely agree. It was a super performance, Mark, and I mean the level that you can play at, despite not playing this anywhere near as much as you perhaps could, is astonishing. Really, how pleased are you with your performance? Are you, first of all?
Yeah, happy to play okay. After it's been so long since I played this game, having to play with my snooker cue because I've never had a pool cue in all the time I've played it. So yeah, just happy to be back, happy to be playing in this tournament by Ultimate Pool. As I said before, I think they do a fantastic job. We watch it every week when it's on TV. The boys put up a great show. And just echoing what Gaz said really about the lads, I mean, to get to the final again under this format is incredible really. To win it last year and get to the final and get so close to winning it again, just shows what class act they both are.
Yeah, absolutely, and played in a great spirit and with a great atmosphere as well. This place is full, and you'd like playing on this table in front of a big crowd?
Yeah, I do. And obviously, I'd just like to say, obviously it's an honour to win it with Mark. Obviously, we know what he's been through over the last year. It's a credit. Obviously, what he achieved last night is an absolute credit to who he is and his mental strength. And to come here and to win again with him is an absolute honour. And for him to, like I say, be where he's at today from where he's been is an absolute credit.
Yeah, here, well said. And you've won this title now. We spoke to you both over the last couple of years about what it would mean. I'll ask you first, Mark. What does it mean to be winning a trophy with your best mate here?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I said to Gaz, I was just looking at the trophy. It looks better than the one I won last night. So, I mean, yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's been great playing with Gaz. Obviously, he's one of the top players in the sport. So. I'm sure he'll probably ask me to play again next year, but I think I might say no and just retire undefeated.
Not a terrible plan. Okay, we're going to bring in the presentation party led by the Chief Executive of Ultimate, Paul Lee Kendall. Your Pairs Cup champions for 2022, Gareth Potts and Mark Selby. Well, what an incredible end to an incredible competition here in the Pairs Cup.